Hi, Maria Mandarino here today. Today we're going to talk about the current transits. We have quite a bit going on in the sky, and I'm going to compare it. Well, not compare it, I guess, but I'm going to use some tools from my work as a body worker. Some of you know I'm also a body worker. I am an acupuncturist, and I'm a spiritual director. And I am also a professional astrologer. So, for those of you that are purists and like to have those things only in one basket, this is not the place where you want to be. And people have really expressed their frustration with what I do here. So again, there are people, if you're looking for a purist, there are plenty of really good people who do what you're looking for. This is a place where we integrate things. So feel free to, I hope you stay. But feel free to move on if this is not how you want to do your spiritual work. Okay. So before we start, I would like to ask you to remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. These things really help the channel, helps my work to get out there. You can also, if you want to work with me privately, and I'll have all of this in the show notes at the end, please visit therootedmystic.com. You can book a session with me there. You can book a discovery call with me there. I do spiritual direction, Enneagram, and astrology online with people. So you can find all of that there at therootedmystic.com. If you are in town, if you're in the Phoenix area, or if you're going to be visiting the Phoenix area and you want to work with me on doing body work or acupuncture, you can book that online. I'm booked out about a month and a half, 2 months, depending on your preferred dates. mariamandarino.com. So if you want to do more hands-on work, you can certainly schedule that if you're here in town. Um, and on my website, if you want to support the channel, you can also do that at the bottom of the website, at the Rooted Mystic website. You can support my channel there. And again, entirely free here. Just if you click that subscribe button and like, comment, and share, that helps me so much, and I appreciate it just as much as any donations that people make to the channel. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly. So today we're going to talk about the transits in the context of fear. Um, there's a lot of intensity going on out there, and there's good reason for people to feel fearful and even angry. And there's, vibrationally, those two emotions connect and can play off of each other. So we're going to give you some tools today to deal with that energy through the context of particularly the John Barnes approach to myofascial release, which is my specialty for 24 years now. And there are some concepts in that work that spill into everything I do. I say when I learned that work that not only did my practice transform, but everything about my life changed. Because when I am challenged, and we all get to be challenged, I go back to John's principles. We're going to talk about those today and why it matters right now with what's going on in the sky. So if you're feeling anxious, fearful, overwhelmed, if you feel an explosive type energy going on around you or the potential for that explosive energy, if you feel like you just kind of want to run out of the room that you're in, that type of energy, there's some real serious astrological reasons for why you'd be feeling that right now. So right now, for a while, we've had Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto's going to be there for a while. But lining up in a stellium, collection of planets, we also have Mars, we also have the Sun, we have Venus, and we have Mercury, all lined up there right now, opposing a full moon in Leo. Um, we're talking about a lot of tension. At best, we're talking about tension. So let's kind of break it down by each planet. Let's actually start with the sign of Aquarius, the sign of the people, the sign of the collective, right? So we have all these planets co-present lined up. So Pluto is the planet of fear and transformation. We have Mars, the god of war and aggression, in the lower registers of that. Also, the planet of action, bravery, and courage. Okay, so we tend to think of, we say Mars is a malefic. Well, And that sounds like kind of ominous, right? But kind of like the Enneagram, I talk about this in the Enneagram. There are higher expressions and lower expressions, right? The higher side, the true self and the shadow, right? So we have that, with the planets as well. We have that in astrology. So where Pluto's fear can be amplified by the aggression and the warlike nature of Mars. We also have the potential to pull bravery and courage out of that. So, and assertiveness, which is different, right? It's more positive expression, compared to aggression, right? So being assertive is generally a preferred state, and it is Mars-like. So, and then we have the sun in there, which, is an expression of our vitality and our strength. And we have Venus, which in Aquarius, more the heart-centered, not the soft, you know, Cupid-like nature of Venus, more heart-centered, more focused on the connection. Again, Aquarius is the sign of the people, so being heart-centered, connected, and compassionate. It's more of that expression of Venus. And Mercury, the planet of communication and the intellect and the mind, among other things, but that's the context we're going to be using today. So, and then opposing all of this, we have the moon, the full moon in Leo, a fire sign, also a sign of courage, and boldness and stepping out onto stage. Leos are not shy, right? So we have the moon in that sign opposing the stellium of pretty intense planets in Aquarius, right? So I'm going to pose the question, well, two questions to you. I'm going to pose the first question. What are you so afraid of? Because right now, it's really important to know the answer to that question or to be willing to sit with that question right now. Um, and I do mean sit with it because I hope you don't have an immediate answer. I hope that for you, the answer to that question will mean an exploration. Whatever whatever the means is for you to get to that exploration. And again, I'm going to give you some tools toward the end of this episode. So as we move into this episode, so what are you so afraid of? Then I want you to backtrack into this question: Who are you? So it's who are you, and what are you so afraid of? And again, two questions you should be taking time with. Okay, who are you? What are you so afraid of? And the next piece of it, and this is what we're going to work through, and I'm going to give you some tools to be able to answer that second one. What are you going to do about it? Because this is a time with these planets lining up. This is a time that you are being called to do something about it. This is a time where Pluto requires us to transform. It's either that or we're going to be locked up in fear. And Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for about 16 years. So this is the time to start doing your work. This is the time to really ground yourself, know who you are, and know what you're going to do about the challenges that are coming into your world. And this is going to depend on where it is in your chart. And that's the one-on-one work that I do with people. You can still make use of this in general terms right now. So that's what we're going to do today. So, um, my question is, next question, um, and this is more of a rhetorical question, but you can journal into it. Are you going to blow it up like Mars, or are you going to transform it like Pluto? So, and the ideal is to take the higher aspects of both of those planets to do your work. Okay, but just be aware, it's real easy for you to want to blow it up. And that's what we're seeing happening around us. So it's a difference between blowing it up and transforming it. Okay, and I'm not gonna get too into the specifics of that, but we're seeing that happen all around us in one of two ways, right? Either blowing it up or transforming it. So where are you in this? In your immediate world, I'm not even talking about the global level, although it may be that for you, depending on where, especially depending on where you are on the planet right now. But even in your immediate world, in your family, in your job situation, in your neighborhood, whatever, are you going to blow it up or are you going to transform it? So now I'm going to get back to the principles of John Barnes' myofascial release, that type of body work that I practice, which is somato-emotional body work. It's based on what's going on in your body based on what's happening in your mind and your heart and your spirit. So it ties in to the work that I do as a spiritual director. And like most types of transformative work, it has a lot to do with the breath. It's not the certainly not the only thing that it has to do with, but it starts with the breath. It starts with centering yourself through the breath. So any kind of breath work practice, sitting meditation, tai chi, qigong, yoga, all of these things, this central thing that they have in common is the breath, connecting with the breath. So if you're jotting these down, and I recommend that you do, certainly come back to the episode and you can go through these questions, but jot them down. Um, First step, breathe. As you breathe, next step, soften. Doesn't just mean your mind, your body. Soften your mind. Soften the perimeters of your mind. Soften your thoughts. Soften your heart. Soften your body. Soften your mind. Soften your heart. Soften your body. In Qigong, we say constant correction. The work is constant correction. Just because you shine at a meditation one day, trust me, you'll fall on your face meditating the next day or the day after that. All meditations are not, and all practice is not created equal. Okay? So the softening is constant correction. Soften your mind, soften your heart, soften your body, soften your heart, soften your mind, soften your body. Keep constant correction. Okay? Breathe, soften. As we do that, and as we do it regularly, and as we soften and go deeper, because with each level of softening, we go deeper. As we do that, something called your intuition starts to increase, starts to expand. Um, and then the next piece of that practice is learning how to trust it, because that is practice, learning how to trust that intuition. So breathe, soften, trust your intuition, allow your intuition to speak before you even, you can't trust it until you hear it, right? So breathe, soften, listen, trust your intuition. And then there's a scanning or a checking in that should be regular in your practice, whatever this practice is, practice of awareness that we're talking about. Um, it's that checking in and scanning of, well, I'm here right now, and then 5 minutes, you might not still be there. Okay. A thought may try to get into your consciousness, and you're just going to ask it to step aside. That thought will be there when you're done with your practice. You can get back to it later if it's important. But right now, ask that thought to step aside. And then scan your body and scan your mind to see like what else exploded in your mind as that one thought came in, because there's probably at least 10 more. It's kind of kind of like the seven dwarves showing up, but there's more than seven of them. So scan, just keep scanning and don't judge it. Don't judge it. Just scan it, watch it, watch it, breathe, soften, listen, observe. Okay. And again, that's constant correction because things are going to continually intrude. Your body's going to have a response to that. Your body's going to tighten. Where does your body tighten? Don't ask why. Just where. Observe, note it. Bring the breath into it and ask it to soften again. Okay. Again, these are the principles of MFR, but they are the principles of life. And we're going to get to the next key of this is where are you resisting? It's a really important word. Where are you resisting physically in your body? That's usually the easiest. The body's our vehicle. It's usually the easiest place to ask that question. Where am I resisting? Where am I feeling resistance in my body? Then bring softening to it. Bring the breath to it. Ask it to soften. The next piece is where am I resisting in my mind? That one's tougher. That one's tougher because we usually have a long history of things that are tied to that one. And they then reside in our body. Usually it starts in our mind, um, with the exception of people that have physical injuries. Most of the time, resistance will begin in your mind. And again, that's constant correction because something, someone will always give you an opportunity to form that resistance. So this is where the word practice comes in. It is constant practice, constant correction. So where are you resisting? How are you resisting? Is it in your mind? Is it in your body? Is it in your thoughts, repeated, repetitive thoughts? And then you go back to softening. Where can I soften? Do I soften this? Do I soften this? Do I soften my body? Where can I soften? Return to where can I listen? New one. Where can I let go? Where am I resisting? Where can I soften? Where can I listen? How can I let go? Saying those words sometimes can be huge. I let go. So allow yourself to say them. And then I'm going to use the word lean. I want you to lean into what feels like resistance, whether it's mental resistance, physical resistance. Let's start with the mental. Where can you just softly lean into what feels like resistance, what feels hard, difficult? Can I just lean? And what does it mean to lean? Doesn't mean to wrestle it. It doesn't mean to struggle. It means to just stick with it and lean with the breath. Lean. Let go of your mind. Let go of your thoughts. Let go of the resistance and just lean. And when you do that, the end result is what you're leaning against will yield. If you lean and don't struggle, there's a difference. When you struggle, you'll get more resistance from your mind, from your body, from your relationships. So learn the art of leaning. That might be one of the tougher things I ask you to do today, to learn the art of leaning, which means you're not controlling. Part of part of the principles of this work is give up control. Okay, and there's a difference. And it's a tough one to learn. The difference between leaning into something and grappling it. Okay, don't grapple. So with letting go of the struggle, I want you to bring your awareness to any bracing that you're doing. Usually bracing is something we'll associate with the body. Where do you feel braced? Where do you feel like you're defending? Where do you feel like your next injury is coming right for you? Where are you being hypervigilant? That's another word for bracing, hypervigilance. Where are you tightening up and bracing like you're waiting for the first punch? Where are you bracing? So again, that takes you back to softening and not resisting and leaning into what feels difficult. Leaning, not forcing, not controlling. Softening, breathing, softening, listening, letting go. And in your life, it's easier to do this first in your body, okay? To feel the give when you just lean into something. When you're doing it with the breath will get easier. When you're doing it with your mind, the things that you feel dug into start to feel less tense. Okay. Again, it's easier to do that with the body, to feel the give. And then the big thing with fear and resistance, because resistance is fear, bracing is fear, or evidence of fear. Um, I want you to practice feeling the direction of ease because you're going to get a lot more out of whatever you're invested in if you can find the direction of ease. And we do this with the body all the time. We do not force the body into any particular position with this work. We wait for the body to do it. We lean into the body. We encourage the patient to breathe. We encourage them to have a healthy curiosity about their body so they might stretch and move and unwind. Um, and we take them into the direction of ease. And when we go into the direction of ease, we start to uncork. And that's what we need to do in our lives is uncork what's wound up and ready to blow, taking us back to that Mars energy, right? That Mars Pluto. We're gonna unwind it and open it up and find the riches that are deep, because that's what Pluto is. He's the god of the underworld. It's whatever's, deep and rich in the earth. It's where we find the minerals. It's where we find the gold. It's where we find the gems, right? Um, Life is like that too, right? And this energy in the sky right now is setting us up for that exploration. Um, or we can just wrestle and try to break it, like the lower expression of Mars might try to do. Um, so I encourage you to sit with what's scaring you. Ask yourself who you are. Give up the resistance. Give up the desire to control and find the direction of ease. Because that's where the ultimate control is going to be, is finding the direction of ease. Um, and in my Taoist tradition, we look at nature. We look at nature and we look at the tree. And the tree that doesn't yield to the storm is the tree that will break in that storm. The tree that has soft branches. These are the principles. If you practice Tai Chi, you know what I'm talking about. You're rooted in your feet, your roots at kidney one on the sole of the foot to the earth. It's like the roots of the tree. You have to have good roots. But the branches, your limbs, are soft and fluid. And that's based on the Taoist ideas of the tree that is not soft and supple. That tree will break, and the tree that is soft in its branches will yield and survive the storm. So there's a difference between yielding and giving in. I think that's important to say. That's not what I'm saying at all. Be rooted so that you can lean in because you have to have good roots to do that, to lean, because otherwise you're going to fall over, right? You need to be rooted. You need to be rooted in your principles. You need to be soft in your branches too. And that's where you're going to be able to use the best of Pluto and Mars to be active and assertive, to be brave and courageous, and to transform in a compassionate, mindful way, which is really what this transit and these planets will allow us to do. We kind of need a field guide for this one, I think. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Um, but on the other side of it, it's pure potential. It's pure potential for transformation. So I hope that you will be working this energy in a good, mindful, healthy way, making a difference, transforming yourself, asking yourself who you are, letting go of the fear, opening your heart to compassion. Don't forget to be compassionate to yourself. That's something we don't say often enough, and certainly being compassionate to others who are suffering and struggling. So with that, I will close. Again, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your participation in this channel is the only way anything happens here. So please be active with doing that. It doesn't cost anything, and it means everything to me here. So I appreciate that. Again, if you'd like to schedule with me, therootedmystic.com. I do have memberships available for spiritual direction. They're not, I don't believe they're on the website, but if that's something you're interested in, we can talk about that on the discovery call. It's where we just meet monthly in the membership. People that are really working on the deeper things. Spiritual direction is something we should do on the regular monthly basis anyway. So, So yeah, so again, if you want to do a chart with me, if you want to do spiritual direction, Enneagram work, any of that, you can book that online. And again, you can support the channel there. And I think that's about it. Oh, that's not about it. I also have my Enneagram class, Smart But Stuck. You can sign up for that on the website. And I also have a free webinar on the website you can sign up for. And that is how to use the Enneagram for creating healthier boundaries in your relationships. So that's actually not a bad thing to do right now because relationships are going to be challenged with these transits. So knowing who you are through the Enneagram and how to set healthy boundaries to have better relationships, free webinar on my website. So, all right, thanks so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.